You are listening to Parenting Our Future with certified parent coach Robin McMahon, author of The Yelling Cure and founder of Parenting for Connection. My podcast is all about providing you with the tools and solutions you need in your parenting so you can create the family you always wanted. For more information on my book and other resources, check out yellingcurebook.com. Hey everyone, it's Robin here. Welcome back to Parenting Our Future. I'm really happy to have a special guest with me today, Marla Ryan. And we're going to be talking about something that we haven't talked about really before, and that is for any of you mamas who are newly expecting, who are about to give birth, or who have a newborn. We need to talk to you guys because this is a scary time, right? When we're dealing with lockdowns and quarantines and a pandemic. So Marla Ryan is the president of A Pea in the Pod and Motherhood Maternity. So I'm sure you all know her work, which is that she oversees merchandising and design, inventory, sourcing, marketing, e-commerce, strategic partnerships. She is the boss's boss. She's the boss woman here for Motherhood, Maternity, and A Pea in the Pod. And she's here to talk about some really important things related to pregnancy, postpartum, and newborns, and just how she can support you with the brands that she works with. So, Marla, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to be here and be able to share what we're doing at Motherhood, Maternity, and at A Pea in the Pod. We've been around for a really long time, and we've gone through a lot of change over the last year. And we're excited to be able to continue to keep serving our customer, our moms-to-be, and our new moms.
Yeah, well, that's really great. And you have developed a whole campaign called #MHJungle. Can you tell me what that's all about?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So as we were at the beginning of March, and there were more and more reports of COVID, and we were watching what was going on in the world, we realized pretty quickly that we were all, as employees of our company, going to be at home. And after a couple of meetings, the first week, we started to have a giggle, if you will, about, dogs barking in the background, kids climbing all over mom or dad while they were on, our Zoom calls. And we started to think, if we're seeing this and having this, then I bet our customer is going through the same thing. And, how can we give our moms out there some support and let them know that it's okay, that it is really difficult every day to be able to juggle being a mom or being pregnant and going to work, or managing your house, managing the people in your house, never mind having everybody at home, and then not being able to go outside, relying on deliveries for food. What do I do? Appointment? What if I can't go to the doctor's appointment? What if I don't feel safe? We had lots of internal conversations and realized in talking to our community that people really wanted to hear what was going on in the world and how we could give them some advice or let them know that they weren't alone. And I think, that became sort of the root of the campaign, and it's kind of taken off from there. We have done multiple videos, both on Instagram and Facebook, and we have gotten such great feedback, so much engagement from the customers, from the moms, people who are sharing it within their communities, and even for women who've had kids, who have teenagers even. We've heard them say to us, like, thank you. I felt so alone in this sort of time and didn't know if anybody else was experiencing this. And it now gives me an avenue and a place to really kind of understand what a lot of people are going through, and that I'm not going crazy and I'm not the only one frustrated. And, in some cases we're sharing tips, which people have found really helpful. How do you get up in the morning, get the house ready to go? Who's on Zoom for school? How do you get to your call on time? What do you do? Is it okay to tell your boss that you're going to be late for, a meeting? And all of these things kind of started to spill out as we started to build the campaign. So it's been amazing. Such a great response. We're so happy and proud that we were able to provide this for all those moms and moms to be.
Oh, I love it. And I think people look at you guys as experts, right? You know, this is what you do. This is the world that you're living in. And I think that to add the addition of some support at this time. And it's funny because you talk about dogs barking in the background. Well, we stopped for a moment because my dog barked, right? And I had to leave for a second to make sure my husband didn't talk in the other room because you know what? This is what it's like, right? Normally that is not a problem for me. I struggle with my recordings and my lives because I can't guarantee my bandwidth is going to be enough, right? So I am there with you. But you know, all of that aside, you know, there are some real concerns out there and there is real fear. And, you know, as a mom myself and working with as many parents as I do, you know, when there is fear, we don't make the best decisions, right? We make decisions that are irrational. And so having a place of support is really important. And I've been talking about those same kinds of things, like how do you get your kids organized for school? How do you get yourself ready? I mean, you know, with a newborn, as a pregnant, you know, mother, that's no joke. That's adding another layer because as moms, we're mama bears. We were protecting our babies, right? And this
Absolutely
is a scary time, right? And we want to protect ourselves and our kids. So, what are you talking about in these videos, in the video series, and the tips that you got? Can you share some of those with me and what's going on there? Because and by the way, these are available on your Instagram page and also on Facebook. Right? On your Facebook page. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I checked them out. There is some amazing articles, just so you know. I saw it. They're awesome. So beautiful. Really.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stories. Yes.
No, the team has done an incredible job. We kind of picked a couple of different subjects to start off with. And as I said earlier, you know, this has sort of taken on a life of its own, and we're going to continue to keep doing this. But, you know, one of the topics that came up early on was we had 3 young ladies in our office who were all pregnant. And so as we were working on the campaign, they each were in different times during or stages during their pregnancy. And so they were all experiencing similar stress and concern and worry, but for different things. So one of them was very concerned. She was pregnant early on, I think in her 4th month, and she had to start going to her doctor's appointments, but they weren't taking any patients, so they had to do it virtually. And she was worried, will I get the same care? What if something's wrong? How will they know? What do I do? And then our second young mom to be was just at that stage where she was like, if I go early, what will I pack for my hospital bag? Will my partner be able to come with me? And for a moment here, that was not an option. And she was really scared. And so we had those 2 moms talking back and forth about doctor's appointments and virtual, you know, meetings and what do you do? And then what happens if you actually get to the hospital and your partner, husband, boyfriend can't be with you? What do you do? Even, you know, your birthing coach sometimes. So that was something that we tackled pretty early on. And then one of our third mom, she actually went early. She went a month and a half early. Yes.
Oh boy.
So so that presented a whole nother of, you know, the baby being in the NICU unit and she got to go home, but the baby didn't. And then who can go for visiting? God. Mom can only go, dad can't, you know, so these were all sort of topics and subjects that was happening to our community, our internal community. And we figured there's got to be other people out there that are in these situations. And how can we share this? The response to these videos has been phenomenal. It has just been incredible, the amount of people who've been engaging and who have been so thankful to be able to hear somebody else's story. I think the hardest part about what we've been going through with COVID is that this is so new to us. And I mean, we're only 2 months in, largely, and there isn't protocol, there isn't a roadmap, there's not one sort of solution or remedy for the virus. It could impact 5 people 5 different ways. You know, your neighbor could react differently than you. So you're pregnant or you've just had the baby, you have all kinds of other things that are going on that you have to juggle. You are dealing with your family, your work, your friends, whatever it might be. You're isolated for most part, right? Up until probably the last week or so, everybody has really been at home. And who do you talk to? Who do you call? What do you do? I think we're all so thankful to be able to have technology and have Zoom and be able to stay, at least you can talk to each other. But I think to hear the stories has been really amazing. And people have been able to do that whenever they have a moment that's free, and they've been able to use social media and then share that, experience. We had a lot of moms tagged in the posts, for them to be able to watch so that they could, give them a little bit of peace of mind, as best we could.
Yeah,
and
I
so,
think, oh, go ahead.
So with some of the other things that we did too as well, we had one of our employees' neighbors is a doula. And so the question was, do I give birth at home? I've never done that before. I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm afraid. But what will it be like to give birth at home? So we actually did a series with a doula so that she could give the community some information and let people, kind of understand what that means. So it's just really engaging sessions, and I think really helped a fair amount of our moms to be. And then we're also doing a video series in terms of wellness. So we've got yoga and meditation and mommy and me. So if you've actually had the baby, what happens when you get home? This is kind of a new sort of uncharted territory. Not only are you coming home, but the whole house is home too. Now, right? So you're not only cooking for everybody and trying to keep the place tidy, but now you have a brand new baby who's probably keeping you up most of the night. Do you breastfeed? Do you not breastfeed? How do you juggle all of that? And so we've found it really fascinating, and there's no shortage of topics. I can tell you that.
Well, I was just thinking that, and even just what you first started saying with, is my spouse going to be able to join me at the hospital? Can my birthing coach, doula, midwife join me? And then, the hard part of having to have a child stay in the NICU and who can come, who can't come. I mean, those are questions I hadn't even thought of. And you may not even think about them until it's time. And this isn't, this is here to support you, not to, make you even more nervous and worried. But it is important to think about stuff like that and to kind of just know what you might experience, right? And one of the things that I know for sure, this week's podcast is, as I speak to you now, the current podcast was with a pediatrician, and he's saying that a lot of parents are not keeping up to date with regular checkups, right? Regular care for their own children, for themselves. And of course, that's really important as a pregnant mama, that you've got to take care of your well-being, your health, and not skip those visits, right? But how hard is that when we're in the middle of this situation?
Exactly.
Right? And so for these moms, what have you seen? Our doctors are just meeting them as regularly as normal over Zoom?
Well, we've seen a couple of things. In some cases, some are being able to actually have a live doctor's visit in person. In other cases, based on whatever's going on with the state or the county that they're living in, that's not possible. So they've been doing Zoom. It's not maybe as thorough as you would if you were actually in the doctor's office, but we've found that the Zoom is something, and it's better than nothing. And so, one of the things that people have been encouraging other moms and moms to be is, try to do whatever you can, whatever's offered. Don't try to go it alone or skip, because, you want to try to keep those up as much as possible. So I think that's the whole Zoom thing has been incredible. And it's really opened up a whole thought process. I know that I've been reading too, will this change the medical community? It is hard to get a doctor's appointment, period.
No kidding.
You got to take off of work. You've got to figure out a day that works. And, that I know for myself personally, I've had, appointments where 2 days before the appointment, they've called and said, well, the doctor now can't make this. We have to reschedule. It's pushed out X amount of months. So I think to be able to actually enter into a virtual thought process of medicine is fantastic. That allows people to do things on their time. And I think you'll see people keep those appointments more regularly and stay in touch with how they're feeling and their wellness, more so, because it's not such a hardship to say, oh, I've got to go to the doctors. I got to find the time. A Zoom call is pretty easy.
Yeah, you know what, we had a specialist appointment for one of our boys, and we did it over Zoom, and it was great. It was so great. One thing I was thinking about, and I wonder if this has come up, I wonder if some of the moms feel like they are missing out because they're missing out on parents or other people coming up and touching their baby bump and, sort of being gushed all over and oohed and awed all over. And, I bet they feel like they're getting a bit of a raw deal right now.
Yeah, I would say that graduates and moms-to-be feel gypped this year. We definitely heard that. This was another conversation, and it caused us to start another campaign, which was basically flash us your bump. We heard from a couple of moms that it's a source of pride, and you want to be able to show that belly and that bump, and there's nobody to show it to. So we actually had a sweepstakes where if you took a picture of your bump and sent it in, and we got such an amazing response, and moms that were so thrilled, moms to be, I should say, were so thrilled that they had a place to share, and they felt that they were somewhat included and they didn't get to lose out. I think it's really hard if you're a first-time mom, right? You look forward to these things and then not to be able to do them, to not be able to have a shower, to not be able to have that sort of moment where all of your friends and family can kind of, put all of their love, and support towards you. So this was our way to say, look, we haven't forgotten about you, and here's a sort of a community board that you can post on. And at least, in this crazy moment that we're living in, it gives everyone at least a little moment where they can kind of be proud of their journey.
I can imagine there's extra emotions out there too. And that's really real. And I think, that it is important to remember that we almost have to surrender to what is, right? And fighting against it is not helping. And I know that's hard, right? When you're extra emotional, you've got lots going on in your body, you're tired, you're building another human inside, but to surrender to what is will help you to cope with what's going on and to let it go. You're currently listening to Parenting Our Future. I'm parent coach Robin McMahon, and I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Did you know that by the age of 6, many girls believe that they're less smart than boys? And only 19% of children's books showcase women with jobs or career ambition? As a parent, are you looking for stories to inspire your little girl to pursue her dreams without limits? Well, Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls podcast is an expansion of its best-selling book, which tells hundreds of bedtime stories about the lives of extraordinary women from the past and the present. Designed to close the confidence gap in young girls, these stories explore the talent and results of incredible women across every possible field, from astronauts, chefs, trombonists, judges, scientists, and tennis players, from Jane Goodall to Simone Biles. So to inspire the rebel girl in your life, go and find Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls on your favorite podcast player. Now, back to the show. Okay, so I want to talk to you about 3 different areas. So really specifically, if you can give me some tips and some information on the conversations you've been having about women who are in the midst of pregnancy during COVID, whether they're working, they're essential services or first responders. How are they coping, and how do you recommend that they cope with what's going on right now?
Sure. I mean, we've always been a source of support for our community and for our moms and moms-to-be. And so I think in this time especially, we've been able to either put content out there on our site or on our social media sites that it's real, it's transparent, it's honest, it's supportive, and engaging. And I think it's really more about us being able to kind of put our arms around the community at this moment in time that is so stressful. And there's so many unknowns. And I think that's the hard part. You know, if you get the flu, you kind of know what you're going to be in for, right? If you get a sinus infection, you kind of know what you're going to be in for. But this is something that's so totally different, as we said before. And so this was our opportunity to put our arms around our community for this moment in time. And so the support we've been offering is, not only is it about solutions that we offer in our apparel that might help you feel better as you're going through the pregnancy. What bra size do you think that you might be? How should I fit my bra? We get a lot of questions, in that sort of vein. And so we've been able to put content out there that helps them get dressed in the morning, feel good about themselves, to support, whether it's supporting your growing belly, supporting your breasts which are growing. If you're coming home from the hospital and you're nursing, what do I do? Do I need a nursing bra? Do I need a gown to sleep in that I can, nurse in so I don't have to get undressed in the middle of the night? Do I need more than one? And I think what we found is a lot of moms come home from the hospital and they're like, well, I have one or two bras. And then you realize like, okay, everything's in the wash. Like maybe I need more than just one or two, right? So these are the things that, we've been able to put into the content that we've put out there. In addition to that, we've been tapping not only our internal, but some of our external community who's been providing advice. We've had a midwife on who was giving advice. As I said before, we had a doula from New York City, and just talking about pregnancy and the role of the doula and giving women options. I think that's one of the most important things that we wanted to be able to do. Was we certainly don't have all the answers, but we wanted to be able to put commentary and content out there so that you could make an informed decision or do what's best for you. Because I think at the end of the day, that's what it's really about, is you making the best choices for you and for your family. And so, in addition to that, we had an OBGYN on as well, just giving some tips about how to do virtual doctor's appointments and some of the questions that you should be asking your doctor, particularly if you're early in taken. So there was a lot of sort of advice streams and content that we were able to put out there to be able to give them, just some options, some decisions that they could, think about and be able to share that in a form that felt supportive and real and honest.
Along the vein of what I was talking about earlier about how, you sort of need to surrender to what is. One of the things that I know from my own experience of motherhood and from a lot of moms that I talk to is that there is sometimes a need to let go of the way you thought it would all unfold. Right? The way you thought, and this is any time, right? And also let go of the mom you thought you would be. We don't know until we really have these beautiful babies how things really are going to be. And we all have these really unique birth stories. And for me, I've shared a lot how I, with my first child, I was 11 days overdue, was induced for 2 days, finally had to have a C-section. I couldn't nurse. And it started a shame spiral for me because I thought I was inadequate. I thought that I couldn't do the things that other moms could do that were supposed to be natural. And that started me on feeling it wasn't good enough. So if I can say anything to those moms that are listening and to your community, is that we need to go easy on ourselves, especially at this time. It's hard, it's unknown, and it's okay to feel like you don't know the way. It's okay to feel confused, and it's okay to ask for help and say, I don't know what to do, and I feel like I should be able to do this. And just know that there is no should. Like, you're just doing the best you can. Of course you're doing the best you can. And sometimes we have to grieve the loss of the mother who we thought we would be, because we have been in our culture, we're sort of groomed from an early age to be moms, to be wives, and walk around as little girls with pillows under our shirts because we want to be mummies, right? I did. And so with a time like this, I really just want to invite moms that are listening to just accept what is. Try to let go of the image that you thought you would have, and just know that a lot of us have struggled with that. And that
Yes.
it's okay to embrace who you are, right? And if you need help, help is there.
Exactly. Well, I think that it's a really important point. I have seen, to your point, there is a lot of shaming out there, and has been, and I think that is just really hard. No one can know for sure what your journey will be like, and you will hit potholes and bumps in the road, but that doesn't make it bad, and it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't even make it different. It just makes it what it is, and it's your own personal story and your own personal journey. And our goal has been all along to be a community, to be supportive, to have stories that are honest and real, no filtering. And again, you take those as you want to, and hopefully our goal is they're informative, they're support, they've given you answers, or maybe topics that you didn't even think about, and it makes you feel better. If you can get a couple of extra minutes of sleep every night because you were able to watch something, great. That's been our goal. And it's just, there's enough bad in the world. We don't need to be doing that to each other as new moms or moms to be.
No, we definitely don't. And those things that happen to you, or those bad days that you have, or those struggles that you have, do not define you as a mom, and do not define the journey that is before you at all. We've got to take them, and we've got to weigh them against the good, right? And unfortunately, our brains are tilted towards the negative, right? Because this is survival and that sort of thing. And I get that there is more anxiety out there, but we need to be easy on ourselves, and we need to be easy on each other. And I am fully supportive of a community like yours that does not have shame and judgment, that it has inclusivity for all, because we all need a safe place to go and say, like, I need help, or I'm struggling, and not be shamed and judged. And, I have my own community like that with a group called Moms Who Want to Yell Less. It's also for dads, but that's what we call it. And, moms are welcome to be in this community as well. And we don't allow judgment. We don't allow criticism. All we do is we help and support each other. And for me, that's really important, because I didn't feel like I had that when I first became a mom. I felt like I was shamed by the doctors, shamed by the healthcare nurses, because I couldn't nurse. I tried. I really tried. It wasn't for lack of trying or effort or wanting to. I just couldn't do it. And I felt bad, because that's also the messages that I got, was how bad that was, right? And look, you've got to let that go. You've got to make peace with that, because if you don't, you'll bottle that up inside, and that starts to eat away at you, and that starts to affect your relationship with your kids, and also how you show up as a parent. And we want to show up as the best mamas and daddies that we can be for our kids, and recognize that we all have struggles and mistakes. And actually, to struggle and to make mistakes is a shared human experience.
It is.
Right?
It is. Yeah. And we say that all the time, the struggle is real. The juggle is real.
Yeah.
These are, it's real life. You can plan to the best of your ability, but the day will be what the day will be. And how you can pivot and learn from that, and really be true to yourself, I think, is the most important thing. And so, that's kind of been our mantra is we try to be solution experts at every moment. And we want to be able to offer guidance and a community platform. We're not doctors, for sure. We are not doctors, but we want to be able to put content out there, and we want to be able to provide as much information as possible, so you can make best informed decisions that you can make, and that you feel like there's somebody else out there who's got you. We've got your back.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, you also have, just to pivot, speaking of pivot, you have like really cute stuff too, right? Like you make moms feel good. You make moms feel beautiful. And we all want to look cute and beautiful, I think. I mean, we want to be comfortable too, especially now. And I just wanted to use that as a jumping off point to talk about a discount that you have for moms. So do you want to tell us what that is?
Sure. So we're offering $10 off any $50 or more order until May 25th. We are super excited about offering this out to the community. As you said, we have really cute stuff. I have been with the company it's 2 years today. When I came to the company, we, were going through a lot of change. We've gone through a lot of change since then. But one of the things I wanted to be able to do was to be able to offer value every day. Not everyone can afford a limitless budget when you're pregnant, nor do you want to, but that shouldn't prevent you from being comfortable, from having good quality items, and it shouldn't prevent you from being stylish. And so everything we do is done in that vein. It is good quality, great value, and stylish and comfortable. And so we have some really cute stuff, even for stay-at-home moms, shelter-in-place moms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're all stay-at-home moms. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Right now, we are all stay-at-home moms. Yes. Whether you're working or not is another story.
Exactly. So, from our cute sleepwear to our leggings, which I think are one of the best out there, in t-shirts, tank tops, even with the warm weather coming, we've got swimsuits and shorts. It's a great line, and we've got a lot of pieces that will take you even after the baby. And so there's solutions with a lot of our product, our bras, our secret fit belly. It's always interesting to hear customers moms, who are just realizing that they need to get, new pants and they don't know what to buy. And then you tell them, will you buy the same size before you were pregnant? And they're like, no. I'm like, no, really, the belly is what grows. And try our secret fit belly. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to want that on my stomach. And then they put them on and they're like, oh my goodness, why didn't I know about this earlier? I've been struggling with my own jeans with a rubber band or a belly band over. And we're like, don't, just you pull them on, you pull it up, you can roll it over. It's great. Our nursing bras are really fantastic. We've got seamless ones, no hooks, no eyes, no underwires. And just, a lot, we carry outerwear, swimwear, shorts, all the way to underwear. People will often say you need underwear when you're pregnant, but you do. It needs to be able to stay up. So we have a special fit. We have hospital socks. We've got it all. So please come and check it out.
Well, I love the idea of the hospital socks. I got to say, you got some cute socks. Like, I'm all for it. Right. And look, I mean, I don't think this is frivolous. This is real. Like, we need to be comfortable. We need to feel supported, held in as the body changes. There's a ton of changes, right? Your hips, your breasts, everything.
Yes.
It's not just one thing. And so, you want to feel beautiful, you want to feel cute, and you also want to feel supported. So, and like you said, it's not about a limitless budget, but at the same time, if you're going to get some stuff, get some good stuff. And with this discount, thank you. And the promo code is parenting, right?
Correct. The code is parenting.
Yay! So that's a lovely nod to you being on the podcast today. So I think that's an also really important point too, right? And people are going to be shopping online, although stores are starting to open up, right? I think today where I am is today or yesterday is the first day that we're slowly opening up stores.
Yeah, no, we're starting to see that here too in the U.S. We've heard from a lot of people, though, that they are very interested in continuing to stay at home and shop online and, venturing out for what is really critical, And I think that's a really important point right now. Is shopping for clothing a critical moment? Probably not. Going to a doctor's appointment, going grocery shopping, is a critical moment. So we've really tried to make the experience online as seamless and as simple as possible for all of our moms to be, and new moms, and really make sure that, if you've got a quick minute or two and you can get onto the site, we can get you through and get you out so you can get back to whatever it is that you need to be doing in your day.
Oh, that's fantastic. And, I'm one of those people who love shopping. And for me, shopping is therapeutic. So I'm happy the stores are open. I'm sure they're happy that I'll be back. But, I think that there is a change. And I think probably there's going to be more new mamas probably staying home. And, depending on what's going on, you may have other littles in your family that you have, that are sort of climbing the walls. And, so I really want to thank you for that. Thank you for looking out for our listeners. Thank you for addressing this topic and for providing that support. I want to say one thing, because I know that with all of this COVID and now we're looking at some stories in the news right now about a new child. Kids are being affected by a new disease, this COVID-like disease. And I know that's not what you're here to talk about. And I just want to address it from having Dr. Lewis on the podcast, who is a pediatrician, and he's following this. They're calling it Kawasaki disease. It's not that. And I want to just, for the mamas that are listening, there are very, very few cases of this. So to really not take that in as one of your worries right now, and also to know that the most smartest people in the entire world are on it, right? The best scientists, the best doctors, they are on this, and they're actively looking for what this is and how to stop it and that sort of thing. So I want to limit the fear a little bit, because we've got to have the facts. And the reason I bring it up is because it's been dominating news stories. I'm seeing it at the top of news stories, and it's more shock than it is real facts. And so to temper your fear with some facts, and of course that was on the podcast before this one. So I just invite anybody listening to listen to that and learn more about what's happening in pediatrics as it relates to COVID-19. So I just wanted
it's a really good point. There is a lot of shock news out there, and I think that's really hard for moms moms to be, and new moms, especially if you are pregnant for the first time and you just don't know what you don't know, and then to be bombarded with these salacious stories and news feeds, and it's 24/7 today, right? And I've had, even myself, I just don't turn on the TV because I'm like, enough. Like, you can't possibly take it, every minute of every day. So I do think it's important that people find a good source of truth. And obviously, your doctors will know more than the newspaper, and just try to take all of the news that's coming at you, with a grain of salt, and realize that you have to filter some of that. It's hard. It's really hard. I can't imagine, what it must be like if you are a new mom and you're got those concerns, because it's hard right now with all that out there.
Yeah. And I remember being a new mom, I was scared of everything. And also you get competing messages nonstop. As soon as I had a baby, one nurse would tell me one thing, another nurse would tell me another thing. And you're just like, I don't know what to do. So reaching out for help with, your trusted friends, your community, your tribe, and a community like what you have created is really beautiful. So, so remember, if you want to get some stuff from Motherhood, Maternity, and it's also for a pea in the pod, right?
Yes.
Yes. And so it's the offer is from May 21st to the 25th. So just use the code parenting and you get $10 off your purchase of $50. So that's great.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're
excited to offer that.
Well,
thank you.
This has been great, and I'll make sure that we share where people can get more of your helpful tips and insightful experts that you have on your page.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this edition of my podcast, Parenting Our Future. I'm parent coach Robin McMahon, and if you're enjoying this podcast, please share it with someone who you think might also need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you like my work, I'd be grateful if you gave me a 5-star rating. For those of you who like my content and want more, visit me at yellingcurebook.com to get your copy of my book and to find other resources to help you. Until next time, I am wishing you and your family peace and connection.